Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So what we have here is a Baja Wilderness Trail 90 2006 vintage. It came from behind an ATV repair shop. The owner turned it in hoping for credit on buying something new. If you walk up to it, turn it on, right, squeeze the brakes, and what you got is a whole lot of nothing going on. So what we're going to do is hopefully bring this thing back to life. I don't know much about it other than, you know, people have fooled around. Given that it's an 06, it looks like somebody stored it inside, and I'm not talking inside a shed either. I don't see any mice activity on this particular machine, so I think it was fairly well taken care of. So we got the battery there and all. The tape covering the battery is never a good sign. You could see it kind of started out more of this brown camo, and it kind of turned to green with camo. I think it has picked up some sun and faded, or yeah, it had to be sun, right? Or this would have faded too. Anyway, so before I smash a battery on it and we turn it over, I want to go, and by the way, these things were already loose. I want to go to the flywheel side of the motor and give it a quick turnover by hand to make sure it's not seized. If it is, this is going to be a very short video. Now what I want to do is access the crank bolt that holds the flywheel on, which means you got to be on the flywheel side of the engine, and you know you're there because the starter turns a chain that goes to a one-way clutch that's located on the flywheel. So looks like we're in, and generally speaking these are like a 14, and I'm not disappointed. She's going around, but doesn't have all that much, doesn't feel like much compression. It's only 90 cc, so maybe I'm used to bigger motors. Next up is checking the oil, and we're on the clutch side. And you guys can see there's a cap here. If you take the cap out, there's no dipstick. You got a sight glass here. I really don't like these. Anyway, I see no line on the sight glass, and I can't look into the sight glass at the motor. So I'm gonna assume, and that's all I could do at the moment, I'm gonna assume there's oil in this thing, and it's full because it's right to the top of the sight glass, maybe even a tad over full, and I'm going to go forward with that assumption. The right thing to do is really dump the oil and change it, because we already know the motor is not seized. I'm not going to do that. The compression's a tad low and I'd rather not waste an oil change, so I'm going forward with it as it is. Once again, I want to make sure this thing runs before I pop too much money into it. We're ready to smash a battery onto this thing. I'm going to use a jump pack and see if it'll turn over. Alright, we're ready to go. Turn on the jump pack. Take a second to look for smoke. Nothing. Right? No lights or anything. Turn on the lights. Looks like I got a tail light. Nothing up front here. Well, I got some headlights. I only have low beams. Well, such is life. The brake's still on, and if you push the button, this is on. Well, round and round we go. Doesn't sound like there's a load of compression there, but I got some huffing and puffing. That's a good sign. If you pull the gas cap and look in, it's empty. it smells like monkey pee. So, chances are the carb needs to come off and get it clean. I'm going to take a quick shortcut here, maybe hit it with a little starting fluid, see what it sounds like. Here we go. Wish me luck. Whole lot of nothing there. I wonder if we have spark. Okay, a couple of things. First of all, you could see the spark plug is Carbon City. And you don't see a spark. So, quickly, let's talk about where we are. First, we fixed the no crank situation by making sure that the brake was applied, by making sure the key switch was only one click on, not two. Not quite sure why that is. And putting a jump pack on it. So we have the engine cranking. We know the oil's good and all that. Now we're moving into where the heck is the spark. I'm going to change the spark plug. I don't think that's it. That's an NDK. Probably it's got an ignition type situation. And just quickly, I was looking under here. It looks like it's got a standard CDI unit. It's not one of those with the remote control that you could stop the all-terrain vehicle from running into a tree or something, right? On some of those, you got to make sure the remote control is also in the on position to get a spark. So I'm going to cut that loose, change the plug, we'll see where we're at. Here we have the CDI in Houston. We suffered a meltdown here. They used tie wraps to attach it up on top here, which is not typical. Typically there's, you know, the rubber band that goes around it. So I have the feeling it got loose, fell down, and suffered this meltdown. It's interesting. This is the second Baja Warrior that I've had that suffered the same meltdown. I don't have exactly this CDI in stock, but I think I could fake it, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is your standard pit bike wire harness. You buy that and the CDI. This thing uses an AC CDI, by the way. Anyway, you buy these about 20 bucks, eBay, no big deal. We're going to cut the ends off of all these wires. We have all our favorites, right? Your red and black, your blue and white, your green for ground, and the black and yellow, which goes to your spark coil. So I cut the CDI loose from the Baja 90, and I'm going to use this CDI. I don't want to cut the wire harness because at some point I want to try to bring this one back to life. So I'm just going to take it right on out of there, right? Push that in and slide it out. So really difficult to wire up, right? Using your standard 6-pin square, right? Getting rid of that ugly multi-plug model. Anyway, you put all the green wires together, and blue and white goes to blue and white, and red and black goes to red and black and yellow goes to black and yellow. The black with the white stripe is off. You just let that float. By float, I mean don't let it touch anything. And black and yellow goes with black and yellow. You just have all those wires floating around in the sky. I plugged the CDI unit into place. Let's see if we developed a little spark here. So I hook everything up, and sure enough, no spark. So what do you do now? So what you do now, and hopefully you guys could see the multimeter, right? You unplug the CDI box, and you take the wire harness and you check for continuity. And just going through red and black, you can see there's continuity, or excuse me, yellow and black, you can see continuity. That's red and black, you see continuity. There's ground, green, you see continuity. And the blue and white, or blue and yellow, see, no continuity. So I have an open circuit. So I got to start looking to see where I have a problem with that. What I've done is I've traced the wiring harness backwards, and this is where the blue and white motor, the pulse generator, comes out of the engine, right? And if I check it right here, I have continuity. So the good news is if I just run a wire for the blue and white from here, hook it up over there, I get my continuity and hopefully I get my spark. Unfortunately, with these China all-terrain vehicles, frequently you have two problems. It's not just the obvious problem of, oh look, I have a melted CDI box, let me just replace that, and after you do, you still have no spark and you don't know where to go. You have to keep digging and find out what else is going wrong on you. Anyway, I'm going to go fetch up a piece of wire. I'm going to run that bypass. Hopefully we get a spark. I can hit it with a little starting fluid and we can hear this thing cough and spin over today. Okay, I think you guys could see here I did the blue wire bypass, and now it's just a matter of seeing if the spark came back. Here we are. See that nice spark, so it's ready to start. All right, I think we're ready for a cold start. Power, I gave it some gas here. It does have a choke. It's opened. Let's give it a little go juice. And nothing. Choke on. Ooh, the clutch sounds like junk. Try to choke off. I'm not even trying. Choke is off. You guys hear those bad sounds? The good news is I don't see any smoke. The bad news is homie don't like those bad sounds. So where are we now? Well, homie's hiding here in the carport out of the sun. It was starting to get mean out there. We got it running, but unfortunately that motor is going to have to come off, and it needs some love and attention, particularly the flywheel clutch. I believe it's the one-way clutch for the starter is no good. I think that's what's doing all the clicking. It also needs a chain installed, master link and chain. I need a carburetor for it. So it does need some love and attention. I think I mentioned to you guys that I've been considering, I have a 90cc Baja over on the side of the house here that has a 3-speed in it. And I was thinking of putting that into the machine, but I'd really like to get a ride out of it first. This here is that 90cc Baja with the 3-speed. Anyway, so what I'm considering doing is moving that engine over to it. It's got the plastics and everything else, which will make it look a lot better. The 3-speed will make it much more desirable. It doesn't have reverse, but it's a relatively light all-terrain vehicle, so it's easy enough to just kind of pick up, put it where you want it, and get back upon your business. So I'm probably just going to go with the swap and no reverse. Anyway, I hope this video helped some of you folks. I see a lot of I see a lot of videos made, and I hear a lot of questions about lost spark, what do I do? So if you kind of follow along with what I did, you know, check your continuity on your wires. Obviously a melted pulse generator isn't good for anybody. I happen to like the pit bike AC square 5-pin plug setup because I use it everywhere and it works. I built my portable CDI unit out of the pit bike 4-pin, but I went with the pit bike 5-pin harness. I used a 4-pin DC CDI and 12 volts worth of batteries and so forth to build my little box. So I happen to like that harness. I got it memorized, so it's all good for me. Anyway, once again, I hope this helped. I want to thank everybody for dropping by to watch, comment, and subscribe. Please remember, feet down, heads up, and get out and enjoy each and every day. You don't know how many you're getting, so get out and have some fun. Bye now.